Hi guys, this is Heidi with Kiddos Corral, and today's Sunday Simple Supper, it is prep for the month. I have kind of a really busy day today, and so to start with, I will tell you that I will link any recipes or any links down below, and where you know, I got any of my information to make any of the recipes or any of the items that you'll see in this video. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to make some dough, and I'm going to do it first because it needs to rise. And actually it's for pizza dough, and I love and absolutely crazy about Laura Vitale, and you need to check out laurainthekitchen.com because she has a lot of amazing recipes. But this one here is one that I have been waiting for her to come out with, that she has talked about in her vlogs on the Vitale's. So that, which is a channel of hers, and I'll link that down below in case you want to check that out. This is for her frozen pizzas. I think this is really an awesome deal. I made the pizza, I think, a week ago. If you saw in my weekly meals, I actually made the pizza. I didn't freeze it, but we really enjoyed it. It was very tasty, and I am hoping to freeze at least 4 pizzas today. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the dough going, and then I'll come back, I'll show you what the dough looks like, and then I'm going to be off to my next thing, or my next item that I need to get done. Okay, so I've got my dough all made up for my pizza. There it is, and I have another one over here, and I just have them covered up and resting to rise. Now the next thing I'm going to get on is I'm going to make some meatballs. Now you all have seen me make these meatballs, and I'll link the I have 2 recipes actually for these meatballs. One thing is I make meatballs, but there's also a recipe where I make them into party meatballs. So I will link both of those down below for you guys to check out. Now these are very simple. I'm making them with ground turkey today, and when I make my meatballs, I make a lot, so I get like 3 meals out of the meatballs, which is awesome. So one bag I think we're actually going to eat for supper tonight. And then because we are supposed to go out of town tomorrow, and I feel very bombarded today trying to get all of my I's dotted and my T's crossed, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and whip up the meat for the meatballs once I start the washing machine, because I need to do that. And then you know, when they come out of the oven, I'll show them to you, and then I'm going to put them in the freezer bags and freeze them. So yeah, I'll be back in a sec. Okay guys, I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I've got my meat all mixed for my meatballs, and I've got my well, I did I have my little thing that I make all the meatballs all the same size, which I absolutely love. I've got my pan grease, because you want to spray your pan if you're going to use deer, or if you're going to use turkey, because there's no grease, you know, there's not a lot of fat in it, and so it has a tendency to stick to your pan. So I just lightly spray my pan with Pam spray, you know. I think this is just a regular, I don't even know what I'm using, but anyways, I just sprayed it, and I'm about to roll these into balls. And then I have my phone here, and my nifty case has this little easel on the back, and I'm just going to watch some YouTube while I roll these into meatballs. I just got done rolling all of my meatballs, and I'm going to sprinkle some black pepper over the top and pop these babies in a 375-degree oven for 20 minutes. And then after they get done cooling, I'm going to bag them up and put them in the freezer. While my meatballs are cooking, and I'm sorry that this video is so dark and so yellow looking, I think the sun is on strike. It's very, very warm outside, but there's no sun at all. But I just thought I'd quickly show you guys this. I've had this in my pantry for a while. I need to use it up, and I used to do this all the time because honestly it saves time. And so what I have here is a package of chicken breasts that you saw in my grocery haul. And I do about 5 nice sized chicken breasts, so it's 1 a piece for each of us for dinner. And I buy this here teriyaki marinade that I get from, I think I bought this from Aldi's if I'm not mistaken, but I've had it for a while. What I do is I half the bottle between 2 Ziploc bags, and then I put my chicken breast in there, and I just go ahead and freeze my chicken in the marinade. And I feel like the longer it sits in the teriyaki, the better it is. And then for dinner that night, of course, these are thawed. I thaw them out. And then I warm up my George Foreman grill, and we have this with steamed veggies, and it makes for a very healthy dinner. And I thought I would do that for something different this month. So I have that written down for 2 nights. So I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken breast in these bags, pour my teriyaki in, and pop them into the freezer. Okay, that is what the 2 bags look like, and I'm just going to slip these into the freezer. Guys, I got all my chicken cut up, all of my peppers, and I'm going to wait to add onions on the day that I actually cook this. The reason is if you are a type of person that is an onion lover, I would suggest, I know I made this quite a few times, and it's always been delicious, no matter what. But we kind of like the little bit of a chunkier onion in our fajitas. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when you put all of this in the crock pot all at one time and it's cooking, I'm just going to wait for a couple hours after this has been cooking for a while, and then add all my my onion to it, because I noticed like the onion was just like gone by the time it got cooked up. So I'm going to try it that way and see. If you guys aren't big onion lovers, just put the onion and everything in the bag and be done with it, but I'm just going to wait. So I got my chicken and my peppers, and I'm adding my taco seasoning packets to this. I'm going to throw this in the freezer. In the meantime, my meatballs just dinged. I'm going to get those out and let those cool, and then I'm going to package those up. Okay, I'm just now bagging up all of my meatballs. As you can see here, I just half whatever's on the pan 3 ways, and it's always enough. So I have enough for, I think I'm going to do sweet and sour meatballs, pasta and meatballs, and meatball subs, which I've already bagged that up and put it in the fridge because that is what we're going to have for supper tonight. And now I'm on to making my pizza crust. I am rolling out my pizza dough, and I have one in the oven, and this one's going to go in next, and then I'm going to let it cool, and then I'm going to put the toppings on it, and then I'm going to freeze them. Okay guys, my pizzas are done, and I just froze them in these, I think they're 2.5 gallon freezer bags. Kind of hard to see the pizza in there, but it's in there. And I will link that video where I got the recipe from Laura Vitale down below in the description box. So that is it for today, for this month's prep. I hope you guys enjoyed. Not really a whole lot to show, however, I've been in the kitchen for a while. I have to wash the dishes now and get my week going. So I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll be talking to you guys again soon. Have a great month. And hopefully you guys are prepping, because honestly, this saves me from having to do so much work. So I've got my little thing here on the fridge that shows all the meals that we're going to eat. And I did want to say, somebody said, I noticed that the dates on this meal menu went from 3/12 to 4/5. It does that because I had several meals left over from the last 2 months. So like for instance, I always keep an extra week of meals on hand. So I do have meals to go up to 4/12. So I want to clarify that. Also too, just because it might say on 3/21 we're going to have whole chicken with rice and veggies, that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to have that day. What I usually do is I usually highlight the meal after we eat it, and at the end of the month you will see that all of them will be highlighted most usually. And but it doesn't necessarily mean that we eat them in this specific order, because things come up and then I decide, oh, you know what, like tonight we were supposed to have, my dog's about to bark. Tonight we were supposed to have spaghetti, but because I made the meatballs, I just left one thing of meatballs out, and we're just going to have the meatball subs that we were supposed to have on 3/16. Hopefully my camera's picking it up. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be talking to you guys again soon. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to answer. Bye-bye.